There we go. So, mind is functional mobility, stability, and flexibility training. We're going to start out with mobility. Each section is broken into 10-minute slots. So we're going to get equal work with our mobility, stability, and flexibility. This again, you work within your own range of motion, right? Some of us may be more flexible than others. That's perfectly fine. So if I go low, really low in a squat, but your stop is mid-range, then stop mid-range. Okay? The goal is to help us all become more mobile and more flexible. When we get into the stability section, we're really going to be challenging our balance and our proprioception. That's our how our mind talks to our joints and our muscles. Okay, I'm really excited about this. I hope y'all like it. Is everybody ready? Yay! All right. Let me start my little timer. Each move we will do. We'll do each. Hold on. Each move for about a minute apiece. Starting with our fan to a hinge. Arms come up, overhead, and down to your side. Hinge from your hips, and then right back up. It's getting some mobility in our spinal column. Feet underneath your hips. Slight hinge. Bring the hands down to about your knees. Now when you bring your arms up overhead, you to make sure you're pushing your shoulders down away from your ears. And we want to keep the same posture in our neck, back, and hips as we lower and raise. Nice and controlled movement here. Long spine as we hinge over. So your next move is going to be an X rotation. Arms out wide, rotating through the spine, side to side. Lift your heel as you rotate. Try to keep your ears in line with your shoulders. Now, as you start to warm up, you may begin to twist further. So bring that opposite arm around. Get a little bit more movement. If you find yourself getting dizzy, slow it back down, side to side. We are going to work top down. So we're starting in our head and neck area, and we'll move down through the rest of our torso, into our trunk and our lower body. Keep it going. Nice. Bring your legs out wider than hip width apart. Knees and toes towards the corner. Side bend. Leaning over. Keeping the distance between your ear and shoulder the same as you move. Now we have our hips, our legs wide here, so we can keep our hips from poking out. You know, this thing. I remember those pictures when you were in grade school or middle school, like being cute. Yeah. Just want to work on our torso, so nice and wide. Now you can bring your arm over as you start to warm up even more. Full stretch through your side. Keeping that distance between your ear and your shoulder. Nice long arms. And time for one more. Good. From this position, keeping your legs wide, hands come down. I'm going to do a neutral spine roll, starting with your head. Tuck your chin. And roll each vertebrae down, one by one. Let your arms graze the ground. Hold for one couple of moments. And then reverse, stacking each vertebrae one at a time. The head be the last thing that comes up. And then we're right back down, same movement. Think of your spine as a bicycle chain. One of those planks are unfolding and folding individually. Good. Really working on our spinal health here. You'll find that you can start to come lower as the blood starts flowing through all those limbs. Now from here, hands together, so open your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together and bring it back in. Moving on down the body into our chest. We're gonna add a lateral lunge to this, side lunge. Open your chest, bring it together, and then lunge to the side. Knees tracking in the same direction as your toes. So not only are we working through our chest and our back, starting to get some movement down here in our legs. Good, nice and easy. Keep those shoulders down away from your ears. Looking good, ladies. Now, as you move side to side, I want you to focus on the stretch in your inner thigh and keeping your knee behind your toe, even as it tracks out to the side. Bringing those legs back underneath your hips, rear lunge to arm swing. So we're stepping back, bringing our arms up overhead, back in. Step back, staying on your train tracks, and in. Pushing through that front heel to come back to standing. You can also leave your knee hovering above the ground if you want to hold here for a little bit to get more of a stretch. You do what works for you. So you can keep your arms right by your ears or an extended bend in your back, bringing them behind your ears. Good. So from the side, nice long step. And then extending through our back. Very nice. Bringing those arms up overhead. To bring your arms down into a W, squeezing your shoulder blades, and right back up. Pulling down, filling it inside of our back. From here, let's add a squat. So hinge from the hips, come down, keeping the chest up, and lift. For some of us, our perfect squat might be a little bit wider. We can get lower with our legs wider. It's fine. Do what works best for you. Maybe you're someone whose squat is better when you're narrow. It's cool. We're working with our own bodies. We just want to remember when we squat, instead of arching, to tuck, keeping that spine nice and long. Good. Feel your shoulders come together as you pull your arms down. All right, team, I want you to bring that squat down and hold. Hold it nice and wide. You're gonna bring your hands down. Rotate, reach up to the sky. Alternating sides. 4 times. And then lift from that squat. Squeeze your glutes, and we're coming right back down. Now, if this is too much pressure for you to hold down here, maybe you just do 2, and then you lift up. And we're right back down. So now we're really working here in our lower body, continually to rotate through our spine. Maybe now you can put your palms down. Legs are nice and warm. Our hips are starting to open up. Come on back down. From here, going into a frog squat. So we hold here, bring your hips up, tuck your chin, straighten your legs, and then right back down. Same thing. Try to get more. Feeling that stretch in the back of your leg. And then come up, get a little relief before going back down. Driving those heels into the mat. Keeping your spine long by tucking your pelvis and lifting up. When you're down in that squat, push through your inner thighs. Keep your legs nice and wide. Good. So we're down. Push through. Almost locking out your knees to get your legs straight. And come on up. That is your mobility section. Transition out of that. Tuck your chin, roll down. One vertebrae at a time. Once your hands come down to the mat, inchworm your feet back into a plank position. Hold that plank for a couple of counts and inchworm those legs back in. Roll back up to the top. Right back down. We're getting ready to go into our stability section. So here with this plank is an excellent way to start. Really focusing on drawing your navel into your spine. Keeping that core nice and tight. Inchworm. Got time to go down one more time. Palms flat. Pushing our shoulder blades away from each other and pushing through the floor. Come up. All right, team. Moving into our stability section. First exercise is hip cars. I'm gonna bring that right knee up about hip height. Open it out to the side. Internally rotate so that your heel is to the rear. And bring it down next to you. Switching legs, that knee comes straight up in front. Open out to the side, keeping your hips square to the front. Rotate and bring it back down. So I really want you to focus on the stabilizers in your leg. Focus on your joints, your hips, your knees, your ankles. Make them help you stay upright. If you wobble a little, that's okay. Maybe your range of motion is halfway up, half open. It's good. It's a really good exercise for those of us who sit all day at a desk, right? Our hips are normally really tight, so we're really gonna work on opening those up. Now, moving into our first balance move. To bring that right knee back up, left arm next to your ear, we're going to transition into a crane. So this leg will extend to the rear. Your opposite arm is going to come out front. So same arm and leg are extended. And then we come back up with the knee raised. So our starting position is here. Hinging from our hips. Pushing through your heel. Extending long. Your option, of course, when you extend out, maybe you come here. Or maybe you need to tap down. It's perfectly fine. I really want you to focus on having a long spine, keeping your body straight. Whether that is here or here. You want your static leg to have a slight bend in it to help you with your balance. Switching legs. Bring your opposite leg up, opposite arm. Same movement. Hinging from the hips, extending out. want you to try to make this move as fluid as possible. So as your arm comes down, your leg extends out and your other arm extends forward. Really fight to try to get your body to parallel. Beautiful, ladies. Julia, you're so graceful. I love it. Right here. So we're gonna fight with our core, turning all of our muscles on to help us stay long and upright. Or you wobble like I did. All right, ladies, next move. Opposite leg comes right back up. Extend that arm, find your balance, hold this. Now this is where the fun comes in. Just close your eyes. What happens to your balance once you take away your sight? So we're working on our proprioception here, right? Really paying attention to our joints and our muscles. Switch sides for me, opposite arm and leg. Find your balance first, then cover your eyes. If you have to tap down, that's fine. Find that balance and come back. Now the fun, we're gonna switch side to side while keeping our eyes closed. So eyes are closed, moving over to the opposite side. Ground yourself through your heel and switch over. Move at your pace. I want legs and arms moving at the same time. So we're here, and then we're over and up. Very nice. Love the concentration, ladies. Relax. Come up on your toes. Very tippy toes. Or to come down into a Hindu squat. Hands are at your chest. Bend your knees, drop down into that squat, staying on your toes. And we push right back up. If you like, you can bring your arms out to your side and come down. Totally up to you. If you really want to get extra, you can bring your arms up over your head. Really fight to stay on your tippy toes as you move through this motion. Excellent. Hips are going back and down. Chest is staying tall, nice and proud. All right, team, turning over to the side. You take a big step back to a low lunge. Reach your palm down next to your foot. Rotate, look away from me to the back wall, extending your arm. If you like, you can drop that back knee. Hold this for a couple of seconds. Rotate back around. Place that back arm down. Bring your long leg, the foot facing forward. Rotate to the knee. It's gonna be your triangle. Really feel that stretch through your inner thigh. So your knee in front is behind your toe. Those toes are facing the wall. And your long leg, the toes are facing towards your camera if you're facing me. Now, I want you to push up through that leg, turning both palms forward into your triangle, full extended triangle, facing me. If you need to, you can keep a slight bend in that leg. You can also stand up a little bit taller. Do what works for your body. From this position, come all the way upright, move those arms into a T. Bend the front knee looking out over that arm. Shoulders are even, back and down. So really feel the stretch in your inner thigh, both legs, and then of course in our shoulders. Make sure you're breathing, steadily in and out. If you need to come up and release some pressure before you go back down, it's totally fine. Holding this and relax. Come up, switching sides. Bring that leg all the way down. Nice long lunge. Hand next to that foot. Open up to the rear, twisting through your spine. Arm is overhead. Again, you can drop that knee if you like. You can also flatten your foot if you need to take some pressure off of your foot. Do what works best for you and your body. Rotating around, bring that hand next to your foot. Switch the position on your back foot. Rotate open to me into your triangle. I want you to fight to get your hips square to the front. So really push through those inner thighs, opening up to me. So once we start to talk about stability, we can't have stability without strength. It's a lot more work than people expect. Yeah? Go ahead, turn that palm, both of those palms to me. Straighten that bottom leg into your extended triangle. Remember, you can always keep a slight bend in that front knee. It's totally up to you. You can also come up a little bit higher, and that'll take a little bit of the pressure off. Work within your range of motion. As you start to fatigue, make sure you're pushing your shoulders down away from your ears. Come all the way up into a T position. Bend that front leg. Put that knee track over those toes. Look out in front of you. Shoulders are down. Back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Holding this warrior two. Core is nice and tight. Remember, bring it up, release some pressure, and come right back down. All right, ladies, bring it on in. Shake it off, yes. Tuck your chin, roll down through your spine. Nice inchworm. We're gonna inchworm out with our hands. So we're walking forward into that plank position. Pushing away from the floor, tucking our pelvis forward nice and tight, walking it back. Rolling back up through our spine. Tucking the chin. Vertebrae, one at a time, coming down, and then walking out slowly until we reach our perfect plank. Push it back. Excellent. You can come down one more time. We're going to get ready for our flexibility section. I want you to hold this plank here. Our next move, you're gonna push, bring your legs out a little bit outside of your hips, push into downward dog. Bend your knees to come down into a crouch, and push right back up into downward dog. Come up onto those tiptoes, heels down, come into that crouching position, push back up onto those tiptoes. So try to get your heels as close to the mat as you can when we press down. When you bend your knees for crouching, you can also sit them down into the mat. Take a little break. Come right back up into it. So we tiptoe, bring the heels down, crouch, and push right back up. Good, keeping those palms nice and flat. Really feel the stretch through your hamstrings. Up onto your toes, bend the knee, and push the heels down. Now team, come down into a plank position. Drop your knees, bring them out wide, your heels together. Sit back into child's pose. Hips are down, head is on the mat. From here, we're going to roll into cobra. You to tuck your chin, lift your hips, rounding out your spine. As you move forward, extend your feet away from your heels. Push your hips into the floor and look straight ahead. Really feel your hips start to open up. Feel the stretch through your back and your glutes. Now, returning back to child's pose, tuck your chin, round out your spine. Bring those heels back together and sit down. Head to the floor. Then you can move at your own pace here, focusing on rounding through the spine as you transition between each move. Coming into a tabletop position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Going into cat-cow. You to round your spine, tuck your chin and your pelvis. Once you think you've made it to as far as you can round your back, just squeeze your glutes and really get a good stretch through your back. Hold that a few moments and then switch, arching your back, bringing your head forward. Tailbone is up. Once you reach the peak of this, I want you to drop your shoulders so that your shoulder blades come together. Good. Reverse it. Push through the shoulder blades, rounding them back out. Tuck your chin, round your back, and at its peak, squeeze your glutes. One more time, switching positions. Dropping through the shoulder blades. Now, coming back to that tabletop position, I'm gonna thread the needle. Bring your arm underneath. Your shoulder comes to the ground, your ear comes to the ground. Really stretch through your shoulder. Switching positions. Thread that arm under. Now this next time when you thread, when you're down at the bottom, I want you to tilt your hips towards the back or the opposite way of where your arm is extended. Try to get a little bit more stretch through your hips and your back. How are we doing, y'all? Is this a good stretch for you? Feels great on my back. Back to our tabletop position. Take your arm and reach up and then cross it over at an angle, going into a child's pose angle. Bring your hips down, glutes towards your heels, rest your head on your hands, keeping your hand, your top hand, your extended hand nailed into the back or into the mat where it was. Now, on your next exhale, drop that elbow and feel even more of a stretch through your back and through your traps. Sit up, switch hands, bring that back arm up over to an angle. Drop your hips, keeping that arm nice and long. Head to your hand. Exhale and drop that elbow. You should feel that all the way down your arm and your side, even up underneath your arm. And we're coming back up. Move through this at your own pace. Nail that hand into the mat. Drop your elbow. Excellent, ladies. Come facing me. We're gonna sit down on our heels. Chin to chest. So tuck your chin to your chest. I want you to open up wide. If you're feeling any pressure in your knees, you can raise up some. But if you can, sit down on those heels. Rotate so that your thumbs are facing down. Pull it back. Really open up your chest. Hold it here. Bring your hands to the small of your back and try to push your elbows towards each other. Really get a good stretch through your chest. Now you can hold this or you can move through this movement. So if you want to bring those arms back up out to the side, rotate and bring it back around to the small of your back. It's perfectly fine. Oh. Really drive those elbows to one another. Excellent. Come on up. Bring your back knee forward. Front knee and back knee are bent about 90 degrees. We're going into our hip flexor stretch. Push this knee forward. Really feel the stretch through your hip flexor. Squeeze your glute and feel it turn on just a little bit more. Now reach over, stretch through your spine, looking towards the back of the room. Turn back around, place your front hand down, shimmy your foot over towards that hand, drop your back hand and your knee into a pigeon. So it looks like this. You can bring your hands forward, exhale and lean forward, bringing your head to your hands, stretching through your hamstrings and your glutes. You can also place your hands on the mat and push up through here if that's more comfortable for you. Bring that front foot in towards your thigh, your back foot towards your glute. Place your standing hand here for balance. I want you to lift up, pushing through your hips. And bring your arm over to stretch through your side. So we're hitting our hips and our side here. Now roll over, bringing your palm facing up and really bending through your back. Squeeze your glutes so you get even more of a stretch through your hips. Sit it down, extend your left leg out in front of you, square it off. Raise up overhead, exhale, reach forward, reach to the outside of your foot to stretch through your side and your back. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale and round. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Switching sides. Back up for that hip flexor stretch. Back knee comes up. We're at 90-90. Push forward. Stretch through your hip. Squeeze the glute. Right? Get a little bit more of a stretch through here. Reach the front hand over your back leg. Rotate through your spine. Bring it back around. Push this hand to the floor. Shimmy your leg over. Let that back knee drop. And we're coming down into that pigeon pose. You can rest your head on your hand. Get a good stretch through your hamstring and your glute. Again, your option to push it up from here. That's too much pressure on your muscles. Rise up. Bring that front foot to your thigh, back foot towards your glute. Your hand a little bit outside your shoulder. Push up, lifting the hips. Bring that arm over into your mermaid. Give a squeeze to the glutes. Roll to the back, bringing the palm up. Stretching all the way through our spine and our hips here. Sit down into the mat. Bring that left leg, right leg forward. Opposite arm. Push that into the mat. Up nice and tall. Exhale, come to the outside of your foot. And stretch through your side. Inhale up. Now your knee that is bent, keep that nice and active. Try to push it towards the mat so that it doesn't fly up as you lean forward. If you can't quite reach your foot, that's fine. Bring it to your ankle. last time. Come up. Relax your arms, relax your legs. Shake them out. Y'all, that is it. That's all of it. Mobility, stability, and flexibility. I hope you liked it.